Last time on Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice.
All right, BBW, we need to make sure that he doesn't know that we knew he was coming.
So we have to be surprised?
They look around and they say, I think I might enjoy my time here. It was great meeting you, Robert. I do hope that I get to see you around sometime.
See you next time, Bartholomew. I just think this one looks appealing.
You want only one to be a toaster, or do you want them all to be household appliances?
All to be toasters.
Yes, there are. I just want this one. There are many more to come, of course. This is just the beginning.
Each of you receives a note that you are being commended at this awards ceremony.
It immediately goes to Slippy's head.
As a crew, he starts off with, I hear congratulations are in order, and begins clapping annoyingly. I was just a little curious. You and Old Lady Weather seem to be doing quite a lot of work down here. What is it that the two of you are up to?
I'm afraid that's a private project that's been requisitioned by Captain Rake. You'll have to get his clearance for us to discuss it.
I will be sure to ask him just such a thing.
So if you just distract him for a little bit, and then we have maybe like a chug off, then he'll drink his drink real quick and then have a bad time.
All right, we can give this guy a distraction.
I just sprinkle a little bit and do my finger mix up.
And he has eaten these eggs. His head is like twisting around and looking in all sorts of different directions, almost like sporadically. His skin like ripples and reveals a very small male version of Cookie. He looks up at Cookie and says, Mama?
And now we return to our adventure.
Slippy just had a thought. And by Slippy, I mean me as well. We did, unfortunately, he has stealth ability, certainly, but we did unfortunately take somebody who will be missed.
I need to have a chat with him, but if he can only say mama, I may just have to throw him into a hole.
No, that was just the cliffhanger.
Slippy's over there like, say that.
Even cliffhangers are canon, and so if all he has said to me is mama, I cannot trust him to do anything.
Say papa. Say slip pa.
Like, do you remember being Pevins?
Oh, God. Oh, my God. This creature is a day old, and you just thrust it with, oh, man.
I don't recall much, Mother. It's all very foggy to me at the moment. Is there something in particular about this Pevins character that you would like to know?
I mean, if you remember being Pevins, then you could be a wealth of useful knowledge, but mostly my question was directed towards, could you perform the tasks and duties of Pevins while I'm not around?
At this moment, I would say no, but if you gave me an opportunity to research this Pevins person, get a little details on
Unfortunately, our
them,
only method of researching Pevins would have been through you. I don't know how we could give you more information on Pevins than you could have, having been Pevins.
I'm saying I'll do the research and search it out.
Then I think the best move, subject, Pevins.
Yes, my queen.
That's right.
That's right.
I think then the best move is for you to be Pevins, but Pevins laying as low as Pevins possibly can. Do your research. If anyone has any questions, you have taken a liking to this particular adventuring squad, which is why you spend so much time in our communal space.
Well, if I may interject, my queen, there's also, because we were down a person to begin with, so Pevins who is already posing as Brendan, I think, or whatever.
It's so hard to remember at this point.
Pevins,
Could
do you remember?
Could just get reassigned to our adventuring team, and then there wouldn't even be any, like, you know, he wouldn't have the eyes of another group of adventurers on him.
It's
because he's not gonna act like he's not gonna act like Brandon Pevins anymore. He's gonna be a different Pevins.
I'll fix that.
He's like Chutch Pevins now.
He is a Pevins.
Because I don't really have like a role for Pevins right now.
What do you mean by a role for Pevins, if I may ask?
Like I don't have a task for him at the moment. I mostly just want him to be Pevins.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so
yeah,
so on
if anything, he's my spy bug. All right, your task is to learn everything about Pevins that you can, and once you feel confident in your Pevins, resume contact with the Invasive Species Bureau and continue to supply them with information. The information being everything is okay, and that you're keeping a sharp eye out, and report back to me anything that they say. Here is my communicator. I assume then that you know what to do.
Yes, my queen. And he shifts back into a Pevins replica and goes to leave the room, and does.
He may come on other missions, or he may not. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how good Pevins does at this while we're gone.
There were 3 missions that you had the opportunity to choose between, and the one that you chose was Casino Planet. There is not a lot of information. The things that you were briefed on were that it is at this huge stadium on a Casino Planet. The stadium is called the Racetrack, and this place is known for its debauchery. There's casinos, there's vague lawlessness. The laws of the area are.
Yeah, is this group like part of the overarching, like the group that we're part of? Like, are they under the banner of the Delta whatever, or is this just sort of an independent casino planet?
This is sort of an independent casino planet. For a lot of this, imagine the way that it's sort of like Disney World. They have their own security. They run their own, in this case, they run their own law. They have all of their own hospitals. They have all of their own stuff, and they provide for themselves because they're so hyper wealthy that they don't need that. They're independent. You folks were told that you are going to be meeting a high value. You were told he's a gambler, but as you read over the file, the small file you're given, it details him as a incredibly intelligent and like swift businessman. He just is known for having hands in a lot of different pots and like being in just hyper wealthy. If we talk about like the 1% of the universe, he might sit in that. He is very very wealthy, but he has had death threats on his life, specifically targeted to his attending of the race at the racetrack. But he is still, being who he is, going to go, and he has reached out to get help. He's paying the Delta high amounts of money just to like be able to get a crew, and then he'll be paying the crew directly. There's a fee, but I don't exactly remember what that was. I think it might have been 60 credits a piece for this mission.
I think it was 50, so I'm going to agree with you that it was 60.
2,000?
It was something like that. As I go through and edit, we'll remember. It was either 50 or 60. I think you're right, Lily.
Or 2,000.
Or two. It could have been.
I heard someone say that.
Could have been 2,000. It was mentioned at some point. I'm not really sure.
I think you brought it up. I'm pretty sure.
I did. Okay. Then it's probably 2,000 credits a piece.
I mean, you said it.
No, yeah, either 50 or 60. As I'm editing, we'll find out before the end of the mission for sure.
All right, Gag. I think we should pick roles Because we got to protect this boy at all costs. Because if we don't protect this boy, then it'll cost us the money that we will make by protecting this boy.
Fuck, you're right. I do like
To
money.
be clear,
we need
our
money.
job is to protect.
Protect, and his name is Zerudian Blood.
So here's the thing. I recently have gotten because he has death threats and he's rich and he wants to not die.
Yeah, he's paid a lot of money to get.
We're not bodyguards.
I am.
We
why
are
has the
today.
Delta Dawn
Closer to like a military crew, like in terms of the.
Okay.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you have lots of different bonuses. I would not necessarily say that.
Rich, and then there's calling in the military as your personal bodyguards. Rich.
I was in the
That's
military.
true.
Everybody
That's
in my
true.
planet has to serve a stint as you come of age.
Yeah, I mean, that was my sort of thought. Is exactly kind of what Lily said. Is that like this feels like a higher showing of his wealth? That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to get the best bodyguards. Not that you aren't that, but another crew could have claimed this mission.
We know he's not getting the best,
right? But it's probably a little bit more of a status, like a view. More scared to go up against the military.
Of bodyguards.
So
military.
Slippy is going to use his tools of the trade ability. So I'm going to get my little bag because I've got my preparations for this mission in there.
What? We're still on the station. Just so you're.
Oh, we're still on the station. I thought we had already headed out.
No, not quite.
Never mind. I can just go and pick this up.
Do you want to just go pick it up? I just wanted to make.
Yeah, I'm gonna go buy a suit.
Also, should we spend some of our ship tokens before we leave?
Definitely.
Since we have a bunch and aren't our sensors? Yeah, our preparation is like -4. Can we get a sensor in our whole ship, please?
I have 2 ship tokens, and I would like to buy. So I assume we buy basic and then advanced.
I thought ship tokens went to a pool. Did we get individual ship tokens?
Yeah, they're in like a pool.
Okay.
Oh, we got 2 total, not 2 each.
Correct, 2 total.
Understood.
Okay.
Understood. I honestly, let's just sense it up. Let's just sense it up, or we could get a shield and a sensor.
On them right now?
I'm sorry. What was your question, Lily?
We have a discount on ship tokens.
3.
How much was it?
3. So
3
they
credit
are
discount.
Yes, 3 credit discount.
So they're 47
across the board.
I don't have enough for one of those, but
I have 25 credits total.
I have 38. We can pool together and get one.
Okay, so let's get. I'll put in my 25, and then we'll have 3 ship tokens.
25. I'll put in.
Actually, hold on. How much is a suit? Because I do need to buy that 22. As well.
A suit.
How many tokens is a suit?
You can purchase a suit for 20 credits, or you can rent one for 12 credits.
I'll rent one. I don't need a whole one. So
I don't need a whole suit.
Lily, actually, I only have 13 credits to put towards the ship token. But I do put my full 13 credits towards the ship token.
Okay, that's still enough.
Great. I'm gonna put rented suit down in my character sheet real quick. It's nice too, right?
47,
the person you rent the suit from checks your like mission details as part of the rental.
Oh hell yeah!
And puts the date down as like you have 2 weeks till the race. You guys were told 2 weeks till the race. It's about a week out there. It's about a week's flight out there, and then a week's flight back. So you have it rented for 3 weeks.
Nice.
To be returned upon arrival.
You got it, boss.
And we've got 3 ship tokens to spend.
So let's get level 1 sensors for sure.
You currently have basic sensors.
Oh, we have it.
You have the basic, yes. The other things, it looks like there's probably something else affecting your preparations. Your rations.
Rations are just currently expired.
Being there, like you always get expired rations. The rations you'll have to do. The rations are reset after every mission. So that is just an expense. If you want rations, it's just for that mission.
Damn. So we got to pay 2 ship tokens every mission to get basic rations.
Yeah, I'm going to change that because that was the initial thought, but it'll probably a ship token every time to get basic.
here's the thing. My whole
No, it is. It's, it's a ship token.
My whole class is about providing food, so
I think okay. I think I agree with that. I think with your thing in there, you guys should always have basic rations because of Cookie.
That tracks to me.
Either that, or I can use the basic rations as common ingredients to make food.
Yeah, I'd say maybe in general,
like
because we have such a good cook, whatever ration level we pay for, we have like one level above because our cook enhances whatever we get. That way it's not like a baseline, it's just kind of a
I like that.
upgrade.
What you spend, you get a bonus to. So if you buy basic rations, then you have +1 to preparation. If you buy enhanced, you'll have +2. Whatever the thing is, you get a +1 to that. And I think that will include with expired as well. So you'll just have this will be it.
We're up to -3.
-3 off of a chat on technicality. I love that. So yes, the other thing, your bridge takes out a bit because you just kind of have this rundown bridge. That
looks like it's 3 ship tokens for upgraded bridge, unfortunately.
No, so the basic bridge costs 2.
That'll get us a good one.
And it will.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
We'll gain a preparedness and 2 durability and 2 slots from that 3 upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good to me. That sounds good to me.
Hold up. What can go in these bridge slots?
So let's see. Yes, bridge add-ons are a little bit more utility, probably, like you said. There's a couple. There's a shield that'll go to it. Yeah. There's random things in random sections. Are dependent.
The upgraded sensors would go in the bridge, although our current ones do as well.
The bridge shield would go in the bridge.
The things you guys suggested of modular power and the comlink being able to have instantaneous, like a phone call.
Although those don't take up any slots.
They don't.
I like the ability of being able to call the captain at any time.
Yes, we know that you do.
Trying to think of what if we were to spend all of our ship tokens on that upgrade, what are those slots going to be worth? Is it something we want to invest into?
Okay. Yep.
I don't know if a lot of our top
I just like the idea of having better preparation number. Honestly, just the raw preparation number at this point is probably
Although
fine.
just upgrading our sensors will do that.
You could just lean in and upgrade flat sensors.
Gives us a cognizance and a preparation.
Yeah, sure, let's do that. Let's do advanced sensors and we don't have to worry about it.
So advanced sensors, +2 cognizant, +1 preparation. So you'll get, compared to what you have now, you'll get +1 cognizance and +1 preparation.
So we'll be at 0 cognizance and we'll be at -2 preparation. So that's a great.
Can we?
We're getting there.
Scrap our old sensors because they were worth 1.
No, those go back into the military, the the stock bay.
Bastards.
You are at -1 cognizance and preparation
still exists.
-2 now.
-2 now.
I think.
Yep.
We stuck a little bit less, but our durability, we could fucking plow through a planet.
So Slippy says, yeah, so anyway, after all of those failures, I really feel like I cannot be surprised. Like, I feel like I pretty much will always act first, if that makes sense to you guys.
Oh my God.
I believe you.
So you want to test it? Start combat with me right now.
Start combat with me right now.
I rolled there. Arl fucking like whips out with one of the tentacles.
Okay,
right
so
Slippy's side.
Slippy gets to act first because he can't be surprised. So I move 30 feet in the other direction.
Dang, that was really cool.
You went so far before I even attacked.
Yeah, so anyway.
It's like you could
so anyway. Slippy says, I'll be his right-hand man. I'll be ready to make him duck if he ever gets shot at, because I won't be surprised by being shot at.
It's true.
That'll be my position. That's my part of the plan.
Can you read minds now?
No.
Are you sure?
Is there any other besides the ship tokens being spent and Slippy getting a suit, is there anything else anyone else wants to
I'm broke.
do before we go? Cookie?
I don't know how much money I have.
You haven't spent any, as far as I'm aware.
That's true.
So
I think we all got like 40 from the last mission. I think I had like 35 and I got like 50 or something like that.
how much did you have at the start of this? Because that would have been how much you had, right?
No, because I bought something at the end of last time.
What was that? If I a healing drought?
The healing draft, yeah.
Yeah. The healing draft.
Which cost 50, and so I had 38 left.
Okay.
So I had like 88 base, and without having spent anything. So that's pretty much, I assume, what we should all have, unless we started with different amounts.
Let's just call it an even 80 then.
Rounding down from 88 to 80.
Who knows what the actual number was?
As punishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, is there anything you're interested in before we take off? The personal item shop, I've filled out less. If there's an item that's not on there that you're thinking like Slippy has been trying to do grappling hook, and I just didn't let him pull a full grappling hook out of his bag. So like that's not on the list, I think. But if you want a grappling hook, we can probably find someone with a grappling hook. If I haven't put that on.
Yeah, and what do you want to do,
There's a grappling
BBW?
hook on
You want to
here.
give Slippy all your money?
I did put grappling hook on the list actually. But if there's another
it's on
thing
it.
like that,
It's on there.
Only 50 credits on that.
I considered it.
Do you want to reward your favoriteest minion?
How many comms come with team comms?
We already have it. I think we all have a team com.
You don't even think about me, do you, Cookie?
Slippy has provided those to everybody.
Check your back pocket.
As of the
it's
magma
been there
mission.
for 2 adventures.
As of the magma mission, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that's what that was.
The purple stuff here on this page is stuff that you cannot purchase. I did the color system wrong. I'll fix that. But
Why can't we purchase it?
you don't have either
You're not high enough rank.
like
yet
rank.
here.
You don't have the like. There's some of it is mission requirements. Some of it is you have
You
to
just
meet
can't
the
afford
right
it.
people. Yeah. It's
Okay.
stuff that you may have be aware of just existing in the world. You might have seen someone with a proton bow, but if you go to try to buy it, they won't allow you to. At least that's where the conversation will start. That's not to say you couldn't talk yourself into it, but that is where it'll start.
Yeah, you know what? I'll buy a grappling hook.
Fuck yeah. Grappling hook.
Down to 30 credits. I'm keeping it though.
That's good. That's good. You swipe your credit card and the number changes from 80 to 30 and you are handed a grappling hook.
And Slippy says, "Hey, wow, that looks pretty. That looks like a pretty good time."
I'm sure it will be.
Yep.
Just gonna be
That will
grappling
be.
hook all over the place.
No,
Grappling
it's
hook.
staying in my bag. I'm never going to use it.
That's awesome.
Slippy's not surprised by that.
Plot twist, it was the only one.
He says, "Dang, that was my last grappling hook. These things have been going like hotcakes recently."
I don't know what
I can't imagine
hotcakes
why.
are, but I'm glad that I have. I purchased this from you.
They sound delicious.
You don't know what hotcakes are? You gotta go. And he points to. He leans out of his stall, kind of walks out, and he points up to like the 3rd floor. And there's like a little stall up there with a purple canvas, roofing area. And he says, "Man up there sells only hotcakes. Best little taste out here, in my opinion."
I thought you were going to stop at "You gotta go."
You gotta go.
I don't know what hotcakes are. You gotta leave.
Get out. Anyway, that's hotcakes if you want to try them.
Thank you for letting me know where the hotcakes are. What's your name?
My name is Grenkum. Grenkum
Oh,
Jorbly.
well, thank you, Mr. Jorgley.
Are you in space? Me too. I'm Tombleson S. Slippy. The S stands for Slippy.
How do you spell that?
You don't want to know.
Anyway, enjoy the grappling hook, and he goes back to his stall.
Cool. I stow the grappling hook in my bag, never to be thought of again.
Perfect.
Slippy sighs deeply.
you folks return, you rest up, and get onto your ship. The following day, you are in the launch pad, preparing for takeoff, and you are given the all clear. Your ship lifts up and begins taking off out of the station. You have to curl around the station and shoot off farther back into the claimed territories. We're going to be skirting along the edge of the territory. It is within, but pretty far away, like, you know, at top speed, a week's travel deep into space. I think at most you guys did 18 hours to those 2 other planets. So you're going to be here quite a while. But at first, you cut around the edge of the space station. Slippy, your walkie-talkie begins staticking. They start coming through at first as just like distorted clips in the static, just like. What do you do as you guys are flying around the station?
Breaker, come again. This is the Slip Dog.
Those aren't words.
Those aren't words. Instantly, like as you finish, the static cuts out and a distorted voice comes on over the comms, and it, in a very familiar fashion, actually at the same time on, we'll say that BBW is here on all 4 of your comms, plays
"Bring Home the Pharaoh's Eye."
Why is that familiar?
And then cuts out. And it's silent, save the sounds for the ship. The reason that the distortion was familiar, it's not necessarily the Pharaoh's Eye, but it was the same exact distortion that told you to bring home the golden drop from mission number 1.
I think that happened when we didn't bring that home, so.
I bet it's the lower 60% of the station.
40%.
Why would the station ask us for things only after we've left?
Hunger. It's like whenever you go to the store and you're like, oh, hey, could you also get me some Kit Kats?
Do you want anything?
Do you want anything?
Buy me dinner.
I need the Pharaoh's Eye.
Space Kit Kats and the Pharaoh's Eye, please.
Your ship hits the edge of the asteroid ring, and you cut back into space, and top speed begin flying away. 18 hours pass. You might even at the edge of your radar see Vulcan 9 as you pass. You're going in this kind of same general direction, just much, much further. Let's get from Gabe this time. Remember the name of the roll. It's going to be based off of a ship stat, and it's going to be a D100 roll.
Well, the base roll is a 59.
The base roll is a 59. It's going to be -2. Preparation -2, so 57. You are flying through space for quite some time. And you folks are all hanging out in the bridge as you're flying through. You're maybe exchanging stories, chatting a touch as you fly through sort of the endless expanse of space. And there is a clang below deck, and you all look around and see that everyone is in the room. What do you do?
All right, gang, I gotta go investigate. Who's with me?
Can our sensors do anything inside the ship?
Do we have cameras inside the ship?
We did not buy the security cameras. That is.
Oh, that was a
we can
thing.
upgrade
Okay.
to.
No security cameras inside the ship. The sensors and like the radars. The sensors is more of like radar. I would say that your radar has improved, and that's for out of the ship stuff. It doesn't have like pinpoints for you folks in the ship.
Did it do anything recently?
No, at least as far as you've noticed, you folks have all been just kind of hanging out.
Then can we check the records of the sensors? I'd like to be sure whether or not the sensors said yay or nay on something happening outside the ship.
Slippy's going to open up his comms and he's going to start heading towards the clang.
Okay. Slippy does that as Cookie looks through the records of the sensor. And I think, Cookie, that you don't find anything, out of the ordinary. You see a little blip back for a comet pretty far off pretty far off, just cresting the inside of your radar as it zoomed by. You probably wouldn't have even been able to like see it. It was far enough away. And I guess it's a comet, so it's bright. You might have just been able to see it. Other than that, you haven't, there's been nothing. You guys are out here in the expanse.
Okay. I'm gonna call Slippy. Slippy on the comms. Come in, Slippy.
Hello, it's Slippy on the comms.
Just checked the sensors. Nothing there. So either we have a stowaway, someone teleported aboard, or the sensors were a meaningless purchase.
Oh, I hope it's a teleporting stowaway.
Me too. I'd hate to think we spent 3 ship credits for nothing.
Slippy continues exploring.
Yeah, you get down into
realities, maybe.
Yeah, I do like that. As you go down to the bottom of the ship, Carl, what are you up to as Slippy's headed down?
I am going to follow.
You're gonna follow? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as the combat officer,
that feels
as
wise.
much as
the grand total of a 2.
Stick back, I'm gonna stick with the moving crew.
A 2. Don't ask anything. You get down there. Slippy is doing the like obvious sneak, you know, the like kind of creep along, with hands in the T-Rex motion. And Carl, this is like distracting enough as you guys are searching. And Slippy, do you miss that there has been you're down in the storage area at this moment, and you miss that there has been a box knocked off of a shelf, and you trip clean over it and sprawl out onto the ground. It was like a toolbox has been knocked off the shelf and is open on the ground. Carl.
Hey, who's fixing this stuff?
Why don't you give me one as well, Carl, because you're in this situation and you've seen this happen.
Kill this toolbox.
Kill this toolbox. Shoot it.
I mean, I can. I rolled an 8.
Ooh.
And that's with wisdom, which I think I have a 1. For some reason, that window closed itself. Yeah, it's a 1. So 9.
9. Okay. Ask 1 and take 1 going forward when acting on the answers if you make another roll based on whatever you learn.
Ouch, my knee.
What here is not what it appears to be.
I was laughing because it was what here happened recently. Slippy tripped and fell.
My knee hurts.
What here is not what it appears to be. You look around, and near where this toolbox is stored is also the area where your rations are stored, and you peer through you open that crate, and it is expired. We're talking like just like slightly moldy bread, stuff that you guys can tear the mold off and eat around. It's not great, but you do. Salted meats, things like that. But this has been gone through. There is some missing from this, and you see crumbs on the ground around the bottom of it.
Okay. We've got a stowaway? I think we either have a stowaway or an infestation.
It could be one or the other. I think with the things that you see, I think you are feeling safe in an assumption of a stowaway.
Well, these are also just being pitched aloud to Slippy by Carl.
Okay, fair.
So, definitely, because I have not been eating any of this whatsoever. And so I would say we got to keep looking for whoever made that bimpity bump. Because, I mean, there's only so much ship. It's not like we've got Titanic here.
True. Soon we'll run out of ship.
I'm gonna get up off the floor now.
You get up off the floor. The two of you peer around a bit more. You feel pretty safe in the idea of there being a stowaway.
Yeah, Slippy is going to take out his hard light blade and be ready whenever he is continuing to look for this stowaway.
Drawing his hard light blade, the two of you go, peeking behind the shelves along the wall in the large enough cabinets to hide in, boxes, such things like that. After a few minutes,
I'm saying aha as I open each one of them. I'm going aha.
After a few minutes, you say aha as you open up a low kind of wide cabinet. You say, aha, and point your blade in. And inside there is a young child with a half-eaten loaf of bread, looking up terrified and wide-eyed at you.
I'll kill you. What are you doing in here?
And she begins just bawling her eyes out.
Well, that doesn't tell me anything. And I put my knife away. And I say, well, I'm not going to kill you now. So come on out and let's have a conversation here. Let's see what you're doing. What's up? What's up? Why are you on our ship? What's going on?
Why are you eating bread without any butter? Like,
yeah, we can.
It's right over there.
We have a toaster attachment for BBW upstairs.
Yeah. Talk to BBW.
I'm pretty sure he specifically got a toaster attachment last session.
And it did. Like, specifically makes him happy to make other people happy. So like he would be profiting to just toast your bread.
Yeah, does it happen to be your birthday?
Give me
crying child.
That. I think that this sounds like Defy Danger Charisma from Slippy with an aid from Carl, possibly.
All right. What's this aid roll? Let's see what our total ends up being.
And I do have a bond, so that is a 9. So they get a modifier, but I also expose myself to danger, retribution, or cost.
Yeah.
You say, listen to Slippy, I'll kill you.
Slippy here is a good guy, so if you say something wrong, I look dumb.
And Slippy, what's your roll with +1 from Carl?
So I get +1 from Carl, I get +1 from myself, total of 7.
Slippy might be a good guy, but the bug upstairs is not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the bug upstairs is female.
She is pretty distraught about having had a knife pointed at her. Seems a bit scared in the moment. She is a young, like 5-year-old human girl. And she looks up at Carl and is a bit scared of the wacky waving inflatable arm flailing octopus. And she goes to hide behind Slippy. She isn't like bawling her eyes out anymore.
I crouch on one knee and I say,
I keep my knife out.
Here, human child. Human? Is it a human child?
Human child.
Slippy says, here, human child. Would you like to enjoy a game that we play on my planet?
She seems very interested. She nods, teary-eyed.
So we play this game called Leap Me. And Slippy crouches like really far down on the ground in front of her. And he says, all right, now jump over me.
And she looks kind of concerned. And you're larger.
I promise it'll be fine.
You're larger than her. So she goes to attempt to like climb over you. But what she ends up doing is just like kind of like getting on you piggyback style and dragging herself over your body. And then she looks at you with a inquisitive look on her face.
All right, and now I'm gonna jump over you.
And she crouches in like fear.
And Slippy does like a front flip.
I think with the trick, Slippy, you're well versed in doing the front flip. She like laughs and claps, and
I'm great at that game.
Through sniffles and a little bit of hiccups from having cried so hard, she explains. She says, I ran away from home. My mommy was being very, very mean to me, and I found a big ship, and I said, I'm getting out of here. And I did. Now I'm a big space adventurer, she says.
Well, that was a choice.
Yeah.
Maybe not the right one. You might be a little young to begin your career.
No, I can fight.
I remember wanting to run away from home all the time, especially whenever I was living with my on-again-off-again girlfriend Carissa. But that's neither here nor there.
I'm 5.
That's a struggle for much later in your life, child.
You wanted to run away from your mom Carissa too.
Mom in a way. Now
sometimes
mother.
Instead, let's go upstairs. We're gonna introduce you to the rest of the crew. Because at this point, I don't think we can turn around. That doesn't seem like the play because I do like money. And I'm not, my alignment doesn't make me really want to turn around. So you're coming with us, child. How do you like gambling?
Gambling?
Yeah, we're going to a casino planet.
Perfect. I wanted to go on an adventure anyway. I don't, but I'm here to learn. And she sniffles a few more times, but seems to be like really getting more into
like
the adventure
games?
sense. I love
Slippy
games.
says as we're ushering the child up to the
Carl's.
Oh, Carl is like keeping his distance and trying to like be polite because he knows the little girl's afraid, but is like, do you have a fake ID yet, or do we need to get you one?
I don't know what you mean by ID.
I have a.
Cool, we'll get you one.
I have some blanks. I have some blanks that we can use.
Blank ID. You guys bring.
I just draw them in
with crayons. They have a bribe pocket on the side.
You guys bring this little girl up to a bribe pocket on the side. I like that a lot. You bring the little girl up to the deck, and Cookie, you see the Carl and Slippy return with a 5-year-old human girl.
So this is our stowaway.
Well,
I'm ready for adventure.
Here,
I've been teaching her about gambling.
it would seem so.
I was told
Come
we're going to
here.
play some games.
Come here, child.
Gambling
What's
is
your
like
name?
games, but sometimes you get really sad.
She kind of hides behind Slippy a little bit and peeks out, and she says, "My name is Lucy. What are you?"
What am I, or what is my name, child?
I've never seen anything like you.
Well, my name is Cookie. I'm the cook for this ship.
Cook, I like food.
Do you?
Well,
I'd be
damn,
happy
now I'm
to,
uncomfortable where this is going.
Yeah, I haven't decided whether she's expendable yet.
Okay.
Well, I'm happy to make you something. Just give me 15 minutes, and I'll whip you up something delicious to make you forget you'd ever eaten stale, moldy bread.
What are you
Slippy
gonna make
says,
me?
You're not gonna put any of the special sauce in there, are you, boss?
I don't know if our guest is old enough for the special sauce.
We haven't gotten her the fake ID yet. Don't be stupid, Slippy.
But as the
Tracks.
boss, it is ultimately my choice. And I'm gonna go back to the galley, and I'm gonna make some food.
Okay.
And Slippy is gonna now teach her blackjack.
Hell yeah!
I love it. We'll say that you're teaching her Cashman's Grab. Very easy game. Get 7s or 12s on the dice.
Yeah, so if it's any other number, you cry. But if it's not, then you win.
Yeah, only because if you teach her blackjack and you're not playing blackjack, then what has she learned, you know?
That you can't always get what you want.
That's true. All right, Cookie, give me a cook roll and talk to me about what you're making for, what did I say her name was? Julie?
Lucy.
Judith?
Judith?
Lucy. Let's see. I haven't read the cook roll in a minute. Okay, spend 3 ingredients, 1 effect, or a gourmet for... No, I'm not going to blow a gourmet on this.
Blow gourmet on Lucy.
Certainly not. I've got 3 gourmet ingredients, and that might not be correct. Okay, I get 1 ingredient. Oh, I'm torn. I'm torn between familiar and comforting. I think in this instance, we're going to go with comforting, which is the make them like me. Anybody who eats this meal will feel more positively about you, even if they do not show it openly.
Okay. Okay.
I think I'm gonna combine the rations with some of this. I'm gonna use a peppermint leaf, some cabbage flour, and the rations like a hardtack to make sort of a savory biscuit type deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like a flatbread with some like herbs and vegetables inside of it. It's good. I saw a picture of something similar in a cookbook today.
Okay.
Damn, scary bug lady, this focaccia is bussin'.
This is
Yeah, it's not for you.
Bussin'.
It's all for Lucy. She needs the calories. I got an 11 on my cook roll.
According to our rations downstairs, she does not need the calories.
Moldy bread does not calories make.
Pretty much all the.
Even if I did use a little bit of the not moldy portion of the bread to make the food, we're gonna ignore that. So I'm gonna sit down with Lucy. I think I'm gonna say I made like a quesadilla, like triangles, sort of.
Love that.
Of the bread, and I'm gonna give her. She's got a plate with 4 triangles, and I have 2 triangles.
So cute.
And we're going to share this meal. I'm not looking for like interesting or useful conversation, but we are going to have this meal together.
Yeah,
This is a tasty bread snack that I made up downstairs.
I love
this
bread.
Is for you.
Bread is one
Most
of my
people's
favorites.
food. This bread has seasonings and tasty herbs and spices.
11.
Plus, it's good for you.
Wow. And she picks up one and scarfs the whole thing. And it really, the difficulty is like chewing it because it's so much bread in her mouth at one time. But after a little bit.
Make sure you eat all of it. This is especially for you. It's not for these two. I don't make good food like this for them. It's all for you.
She giggles and looks at them, and she like holds out a piece of the focaccia and then goes, "No, got you," and then takes a bite of it. And I think that your meal with her of this focaccia snack is good. It's a fun time by the end. She has lost all of this sort of sense of anxiety and kind of forgotten about the knife Slippy put in her face, and is a lot more comfortable here on the ship. But she begins yawning by the end of this, and she explains that I have been sort of sleeping the past few days and in and out of the shelves. Is there a better place I could rest this evening?
We only have bunks for people who work.
No, I'm sorry. You got to earn your keep.
Here's the thing, though.
You want to put on that red shirt and help us with the next mission.
We've also got an extra bunk because the robot doesn't need it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you can have the robot bunk because he just needs the plug in the wall.
There is the bunk that's there is the standard issue mattress and like scratchy blanket, but she is very thankful as you show her there.
Better than a bookshelf.
And
I mean, she
agrees.
She chose to stow away.
No.
So
and agrees.
Hey, if you pick off the moldy parts, the stale bread makes a really good pillow.
And then eat the moldy parts.
Don't we need to eat that though?
I mean,
eat it in your sleep.
You also need to sleep.
True.
You can eat it when you wake up.
And she takes a loaf of bread and uses it as a pillow.
Call that breakfast.
Then you folks are about halfway through your journey. The girl is here to help. She said she wanted to be here for adventure, and for adventure she is here for. So she's here to help you. She mops floors. If you're doing any work on any engine stuff, she's here to hand you the right tools. She's here to vibe.
Cooking.
Yeah,
we have a ship gremlin.
Exactly a little ship gremlin, and she's just here to vibe, and she likes your team.
She's small. She fits in tight spaces.
We
Good
have
for
an
feedback.
Ed.
You have a Lucy, the Juicy. Whatever her fucking name is. The rest of the time kind of goes by pretty quick with, there being stuff to do around the ship as you fly. You begin approaching the coordinates for Opulent, the casino world. As you you approach. It is a medium-sized planet, slightly smaller than, say, Earth. It has rings of asteroids floating around it. From far away, even as you're approaching, you can see on these larger asteroids that there's even buildings. There's some communities. It looks a little bit more Wild West style out here on the asteroid. Some of them only have a single building. Some of them are large enough to have multiple buildings. You get the sense that there's, saloons and all kinds of stuff out here. But this is not where you folks are going. You kind of fly past all of this. You are heading towards the Peacock Casino and Resort. It is the largest and most decadent of the resort casinos here in the main city. As you fly in through the cloud cover, I'm going to show you guys. So as I describe, we can all, if you want to see a very shitty, rough layout on Roll20, I will pull the players to it. So at the middle of this city, there is a huge, perfectly maintained stone and metal Coliseum. It seems to be it like just flying over, you get the sense that this could be used for many things. Like imagine Olympic sized Coliseum. There are the largest and like tallest and most beautiful of buildings you automatically know that you're heading towards. It is called the Peacock. That is a number of large towers all butted up to one another, and they have these strands of lights coming off of them that, if you imagine like the drone shows, you know how like the colors like morph in and breathe out, these strands of lights are doing that, and they, as the lights travel up them, they look like big peacock feathers slammed in to the ground. There are helipad, all those little circles, there are helipad landings on the top of each of these buildings. You notice that on your readout, your little display, that there is not actually a ton of area to land in this city. There are only a few approved landing zones. And for yourselves, that is the Peacock. Otherwise, you'll have to land outside of the city in one of the smaller areas. You don't have approval to land atop the Grand Casino or something I've named Pleasure Tower down there at the bottom. You can see these readouts on your ship screen that, there is a landing space there, but it's sort of as a restrictive.
I like that there's a place that gets robbed so fucking often that it's just called Heist Tower.
Yeah. So
I also like that it looks like the Titans Tower.
Heist Tower, I think, if you want information about it, roll a spout lore on what Carl knows.
Spout lore
about the building labeled as Heist Tower.
Heist Tower, that one that looks like the big T. Well, let me tell you, I rolled a 9 total.
There might have been a few buildings of this city detailed, and Heist Tower was one of them. If you imagine like an escape room, this is that, but like you go in and you're like on the bottom floor and you have to like do different challenges to raise up the thing.
It's an escape amusement park.
Yeah, right. It's like a long form quote unquote escape room. Various skills are tested as you travel up, and the prizes are pretty good if you can get higher up into the Heist Tower. Yeah, it's an amusement. There are multiple casinos here, the Grand Casino being the largest and again most opulent of them. Your ship comes down to land upon the Peacock and you are ushered in. As you do land, you know that you have, it took you about a week to get out here, and the races aren't for a week. You know that Mr. Blood will be arriving here on the Peacock in 6 days. He's only going to be staying one night before the races, and he will be leaving after the races, so you won't have to protect him after that. He has purchased out the top floor of the tallest feather of the Peacock to be...
Note to self, feed him eggs after he pays us.
He's rented out the top floor of the highest feather to you folks. In fact, up here, there are 6 rooms entirely, and you 4 are given separate rooms. And then there are 2 rooms in the middle across like a hallway from each other. I don't really have like a map for that, but if you just imagine like a singular hotel hallway, maybe larger and wider and taller than our average hotel, but big and grand and opulent. The 2 middle rooms, one Mr. Blood will be staying in, and the other you're not sure. You just you're aware that he's got to be staying in one of them.
But who's staying in the other one?
Who's staying in that other one? What?
Let's kill him just to be safe. It's the only way we can be sure, guys.
Wait, what?
No. Kidding.
I rolled spout lore on the Peacock Tower, but I rolled a 3, so I'm just gonna take experience.
I think you're just overwhelmed by the sheer opulence.
If anyone asks me, I don't know jack shit about any of this.
Mm-hmm. As you enter your rooms, these rooms are larger than your like community housing portion of the station. Like one of these rooms has more to it than your guys' whole little apartment back up on the station.
Slippy would like to do a move. I've got a bad feeling.
Okay.
I'm going to spend a moment to survey a potentially dangerous area. I'm going to roll Trust Dex and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Oh, man. The hot dice have failed me recently.
You gotta
It's
make
a
sure
total of 5. So I don't do anything.
But you
I have a look around and I go, wow. Whoa. Oh.
Your room
This is so
just,
nice.
It's
So
incredible.
you said that our client doesn't arrive until the next day. Is that what you said?
6 days from now.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Mhm.
So many days.
Yes, you guys, before you left, Rake said that, you could have waited, but it's best to go out so that you can like learn because, if he wants to go out to the Grand Casino, you might want to go check out what the Grand Casino looks like before he wants to go out there. Once he gets here, you're on bodyguard duty. So whatever he wants, you will be following him. And this isn't, you were kind of warned that this isn't really like a, like president bodyguard can force the president to get into the car. This isn't like that situation.
Because the president's a bitch.
Yeah.
I bet you I could.
Bet you I could. Anyway, that's the situation. You could try to force him. You'll have to force him in,
I mean, I haven't seen the guy yet, but
we have our ways.
But if he wants to go to the fighting pits and enjoy some fights, it might be best to know what the fighting pits are about or check out the arena that the races will be held at, like get some lowdown on the city first.
Cookie would like to check out the markets whenever we have time to individually explore.
Yeah. Why don't we all like meet up in someone's room and sort of chat about
where's Lucy staying?
Where is Lucy
with
staying?
The robot?
Lucy, where are you
with
staying?
The robot or wherever she wants.
Yeah, if we all get our own room, including BBW, then I would assume staying with the robot's probably the best option.
But she is also 5, so like if she feels a particular affinity for one of the other crew members, I don't know that we can say no.
It's a birthday robot.
Slippy says, "Oh no, wait. Is the mystery room yours, Lucy? Did you book the room in the middle?"
She shakes her head, but seems to show an affinity for Slippy. You guys are pointing at BBW, but she's like wanting to stay near Slippy.
That's okay, guys. I'm great with kids. I used to look after Carissa's nieces and nephews, and that was a nightmare.
Who's Carissa? You've mentioned her quite a lot.
Carissa's my on again, off again ex-girlfriend.
He's also mentioned that.
Oh. Yeah, right. So when I was I don't know, maybe asking for a little bit more, but that's good. Yeah, on again.
What do you want to know? I'll tell. I love talking about Carissa.
How about you can tell her a bedtime story about Carissa because you can keep going because you have all the stories forever until she falls asleep.
That's true. I do have a lot to say.
I'd love to hear about Carissa.
Are they PG stories?
So
they can be.
That one is. That one I only say damn in it once. That's PG, I'm pretty sure.
There you go.
PG-13, you can say fuck.
So yeah, what do you folks want to do with this?
Are you letting 5-year-olds watch PG-13 movies?
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not letting 5-year-olds do anything.
I'm not in charge of 5-year-olds ever, okay? For good fucking reason.
Yeah, I'm not letting 5-year-olds do anything ever. Yeah, she joins in Slippy's room.
Yeah, that's fine. Slippy gets a drawer out of the dresser.
There's probably a couch. Like you guys have like a apartment style suite.
Slippy says you can sleep there.
Oh, and she gets into the drawer and gets up like a cat.
And then Slippy sleeps on the couch.
Why not the bed?
Just doesn't like.
That's for Carissa if she comes.
It doesn't have any. It doesn't have any sheets on it anymore because they're in the drawer.
How do you guys want to take on the city?
Just going to sleep for now. Slippy's gonna take a nap.
The other three? Are you interested while Slippy is taking a nap? And
yeah, I'm taking on kid duty right now. You guys don't have to watch the kid. What are you gonna do with your time off?
We have just to read our map. Yeah, you're interested in the markets. I just wanted to see if the team wanted to I don't know, talk about anything before we split off into solo missions. As far as the layout of the city goes, the center of the city is this large ovular stadium called the racetrack. In the northwestern corner, we have the Peacock. That is the big casino resort you're staying at. Directly to the east of that, there is the fighting pits, very smaller area, but, you know, fighting pits. There is the Grand Casino at the northeastern corner of the map, the largest casino on the planet, and just lots of money flows through there. Bottom right corner of the map, we have the Pleasure Tower. Next to that, the Heist Tower, and then in the bottom left corner, the Market. That is pretty much our city right now. You can imagine that buildings are in between all of these, touching them and filling the streets. Like, there's no real direct like main streets. It just all seems to be buildings kind of fanning out, I would even say, from this Grand Casino, but we're just kind of focused in this corner of the city for now. Yeah, if we all want to take on different like solo adventures out into the city, we can do that. If we want to talk about an approach as a group before we do so, yes.
I mean, Carl is going to pitch that I don't have anything specific that I have to do or want to do here, but I'm happy to tag along if anybody thinks that things might get stabby. Because, you know, got nothing better to do.
BBW, is there anything you're interested in?
I want to come with Cookie onto the market.
The three of you head out towards the market. Cookie, what you after in the market here?
I'm looking to forage. Yeah, because this feels like it's possible that my forage roll could mean that I find like a good deal on something. Like, I feel like in sort of a more urban area, especially in a market, I'm open to there being a price on the things I find.
Oh, that makes sense.
If I roll exceptionally well, maybe not, or who's to say, but like
access to different things, but at a price. I like that. For
sure. And it's also a good opportunity to test out my new move if I have that chance.
Okay.
If I roll good enough. That's my goal. I'm here to forage.
Okay. Why don't you give me that forage roll? And if one of you want, why don't we do it for BBW? Why don't you give me an aid with that? Because all three of you are here looking around. You can like peek out and maybe if you find the right thing, point Cookie in the direction of a good deal. Or if you fail, maybe point Cookie in the direction of a bad deal.
I'll say I rolled an 8. So unless both of them can aid me, there is no mechanical use
for it. They cannot. We can just take it.
We don't trigger my move on a 7 to 9. Choose 1. This feels. I mean, on an urban planet, I feel like I'm looking for gourmet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for the best I can get. I was really looking to trigger my thing. My new move. If I get over a 10 on my forage roll, I get a new secret ingredient.
Oh, that you get to describe what it does?
Actually, I think you get to describe what it does.
Oh,
but I get a secret, but I get a D6 of a secret ingredient.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I get more of it than I would have got from my forage roll. And it's a secret ingredient, so it has like a special effect that you, the GM, describe.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the case right now. The case right now is I get 1 gourmet ingredient.
Okay. The three of you are looking around in the market section of the city. The area over here is ramshackle buildings built of sheets of plywood, maybe tents and awnings and things like that. It is sprawling, and there seems to be no real rhyme or reason to it, save this one specific area where you find a large, fairly well-maintained fountain. And this seems to be closer to a little town square. And right off that town square, you find a tent. This little tent has pulled back canvas, a pulled back canvas front, revealing a pretty overstocked, it looks like a little alchemist hut. It is, there's a few tables, there's some shelves, there's things hanging from like little wooden dowels on the ceiling, tons of things. And you're peeking around, you recognize some of these ingredients. There's strands of like garlic lace, which we're gonna call is exactly garlic for us. There are loads of things. The thing that draws your eye, Cookie, is I'm going to give you options since we're in like a purchase environment. You find, there's a couple things in here that draw your eye. One is sitting in a glass box up by the front of this tent. There's a wooden, almost ring-sized box, and it's open, and sitting in the little felt of this is to us, it looks like the end of a holly branch, like new pine almost, right? It's a tiny little new pine sprig, and it has 3 red berries at the front of it. And they are called snowberries. And you know that these are some of the sweetest and most flavorful berries in like that you have ever tasted. You've tasted these before. You've tasted one. Whoever taught you cooking as like a important, part of this was like trying to teach you overwhelming flavors, and they spent much money on this back where you're from. Here, you see a little price tag, and this little 3, you would have to use the 3 berries on it. This thing is 10 credits just by itself for one ingredient. The other, you find a gourmet ingredient, and it's on a shelf. It's at the top of the shelf, and it is a little stack of blue leaves, and each of these blue leaves runs for 6 credits a piece, and they are called Azure Stem, and they have, a jet blue or like midnight blue stem and these deep blue leaves, and it's a rare herb. It's really good for tea, but it creates like a blue tea, and you have only heard of it. You've never really seen it, but it is, I don't know how much you've hunted down tea, so it's not as rare as the snowberries, but yes, you have some options.
What's the price on the stem?
The price on the Azure Stem is 6 credits. Either a good tea or the best sweet.
Okay. I go to the shopkeep, say, "Greetings, shopkeep. I saw your snowberries on display, and they do look delicious. My ship recently took on a young charge, and I think a sweet treat would be the best thing for group unity. I'd like to purchase 2 sprigs of your snowberries, please."
She touches the box, and she opens with the box, and she says, "Wouldn't we all? Unfortunately, this is all I have my hands on for the moment, is this singular strand. It doesn't come by too often. And, you look around, and there isn't a lot of singular ingredients. There might be a couple other things worth this much or more in the store, but this is like pretty expensive for, we're going to even say moderate level ingredients, right? It's still a gourmet, definitely, but like, that you could spend hundreds and hundreds of credits on like very, very high end ingredients. So
I sure can.
Well, okay, okay, you could, but
one could.
How about this then? What if I give you 20 credits for the snowberries and 2 azure stems? It is a slight loss, but otherwise I will just purchase the snowberries. I'm hoping to spend 20 credits here if that would make your life happier.
Give me a defy danger charisma for trying to talk her down.
It feels a little bit like a manipulate, but
okay,
I can definitely defy some danger.
Parlay sounds good.
I don't know. I have no idea. Let me quick check what the roll is on Manipulate.
Parlay.
Or parlay.
Mhm.
Charisma. I see. Okay. Well, it's going to be the same result anyways. What's my charisma? All right.
Yeah, it's more just here in like the outcome, I think.
That is going to be an 8.
Okay. And this is the defy danger?
No, this is the manipulate.
This is parlay. Okay. You know, as she says, I think we can do this. And as she's wrapping up
I'm also a member. I'm gonna flash my ID card from the Delta.
Mhm.
I'm also a member of the Delta Dawn. If there is any issue that we might be able to resolve for you, I would be willing to include that in the price for these most fine ingredients.
How long are you folks in town for? She asks as she's wrapping up these ingredients.
An excellent question.
A week.
2 weeks? I don't know. A week?
A week.
Because it's a
We've got
it's
the next 6
until
days
the
for free.
dude shows up.
Next 6
And
days are
then-
free.
How long are we with the dude?
He's just so he's gonna
One
be there
day.
a day. He's gonna stay the night, and then the following day is the race. After the race, he is leaving the planet.
Got it. All right. Then I will be here for the next week, as will my crew members, who would also be happy to assist.
Well, if you leave me with a contact number, I'm sure that if anything comes up, a few young adventurers such as yourselves might come in handy.
Let me just program a walkie code into your communicator.
Click, click.
And I'm gonna put in Slippy's walkie code.
Incredible. Incredible. And
Hello, Cookie's office.
and she accepts the 20 credits. You swipe your credit card and the number readout falls down to 10.
I got 2 gourmet ingredients out of that. That's so worth it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the opportunity we have at a place like this.
Anyone else want to do something?
At sort of a cost. Yeah, we're in this market area as Carl and BBW. Cookie is tending to this deal in the tent, and you're out in this town square area. There's like a big, well-maintained fountain there, and you see, there's lots of life around you.
I mean, like, I'd like to look for a magic weapon of some kind soon because of level ups that will be happening in the future. But at the moment, there's not much Carl's looking for in the market just because he broke. We got 4 bugs right now.
Talk to me about magic weapons, because we're probably going to have to just alter, part of like high tech.
It would
maybe
pretty much just have to be something homebrew. But the thing is just that I was planning on taking it level 4, but there's an advanced move called Blacksmith. When I have access to a forge, you can graft the magical powers of a weapon onto your signature weapon. So, like, if I found a magical weapon that did something I liked, I can, like, forge that effect into my staff that I use. And so, like, with that in mind, for sure, I now have my eye out for magical weapons because it'd be really interesting to see what abilities could be used in.
Why don't we alter that to like a high tech weapons, and you with that ability would be able to like take an attachment off of a weapon that's not meant for a staff and use it properly on your staff. We'll change what that means based on that thing. If it's
gotcha.
Maybe that means you can fire a shot from your staff at some point, or discharge electricity when you couldn't, or something along those lines. I think would make sense to the kind of canonical world we're building.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, like kind of rare, we'll call it maybe like rare tech. I mean, why don't you give me a discern reality so you can begin. It's also,
I mean, he's not looking at the moment anyway because he doesn't have any money.
Sure.
I mean, BBW is taking a bit of an interest in this. Very fond of lasers.
Yeah.
Maybe
we could make some crazy lasers.
The two of you working together could probably use your moves in a pretty strong way together.
Combination laser.
What's your thoughts, BBW?
Thinking, I have a good amount of credits, so I'm thinking I'll help you go shopping.
Okay.
There's actually a move for this.
A move?
Yeah, supply. When you go to buy something with gold on hand, if it's something readily available in the settlement you're in, you can buy it at market price. If it's something special beyond what's usually available there, the non-mundane, roll plus charisma. On a plus 10, you can find what you're looking for at a fair price, etc. It's one of the things on your cheat sheet.
Gamed.
Yeah, it sounds like BBW is applying money for you to do this thing if you want to roll for supply. Like you want to look around. And I think we'll make it roll because we're talking about if it's something special beyond what's, you're looking for something called that we're affectionately calling rare tech.
Yeah. Okay, rolling plus charisma. That is a 7.
7 and 9, you'll have to pay more, settle for something that's not exactly what you wanted, but close. So realistically, you're looking for rare tech. Basically, I think on this, you're looking around, and this stuff is hard, right? This stuff is hard to find in general. You can't just go even really on your ship probably and find too many examples of rare tech in the market because it's just that it's rare. This planet though would probably be a great place to look. You're thinking as you're moving about. You spend about an hour looking around and you're feeling not so confident anymore. There's a lot of different shops, most of which is just totally alien to Carl. But you come across one and it's this old bird person blacksmith. He's like hammering away on a piece of metal in a forge, and this forge is closer on the edge of this market area. And when you approach, he puts down his hammer and he looks at you inquisitively. And this has stuck out to you because there's a few racks of like what seem to be pretty well-made weapons of various kinds. There's like melee weapons and a few ranged weapons just kind of sitting on racks outside of his thing. But you see in the window a few ornate wooden boxes that are closed on the inside. And I think that out of the most has stuck out to you is like the quality of these weapons. He seems to be working with good metals and more rare pieces so far. But he looks at you inquisitively as you approach and he puts down his hammer.
We're all together on this, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to discern realities on this shopkeep. Just to sort of, I'm looking for advantages in negotiation.
Okay. Yeah. Give me that discern realities, and then you can help Carl with
intelligence. Correct.
It is wisdom.
Oh, it's wisdom.
Yeah, the intelligence one is spout lore.
Oh, okay. Well, that's convenient then. In that case, 10.
10 on discern realities. Ask the GM 3 questions from the list below.
This is Carl's scene. Can I ask Carl for suggestions on my discern realities questions? Yeah. Or should I just sort of go for it? I mean, if you want to look at the list and find one that like you especially would like to know.
I was literally just going to be like, hey, what you smithing?
I mean, I'm down for that, but I'm definitely when it comes down to price, Cookie has decided that she likes haggling.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, I think these questions could be here. Like as you walk up, Cookie is looking around in a more inquisitive fashion as Carl is like focused on the blacksmith. So you could like return to Carl and say like, hey, there's this cool thing over here or whatnot if you find that.
All right, I think I'm going to go with asking one of my questions now. I'm going to tell you what all of them are. I'm going to use the bottom 3 questions, but right now I want to know what here is useful or valuable to me.
Yeah, as you walk up, this blacksmith puts down the hammer and looks inquisitively at Carl, and Carl begins to approach the blacksmith. And Cookie, you're looking around, you peer into that window, you notice that in this room, it seems like besides save this specific window, it seems like a living quarters. This kind of looks like a display window. There is only one box that is open here in the window, and you don't actually see it until you approach the window to get a better look. It's a smaller box on the other side of a larger wooden box that was kind of hidden, and inside is a high-tech metal ring. It looks almost like an armlet. It looks like it could go around something, it looks a little too thin to wear as an armlet, but closer to like it might strap around the barrel of a gun or something like that.
Okay, it's a weapon mod.
Yes, it is. It is a weapon
but it's
mod.
A ring.
But it's a disc. Yeah, a ring of some kind.
Okay, need to know.
Yeah. You notice that, and Carl, you approach. What do you say?
What you smithing?
The the bird person turns, and you hear a creak as the bird person turns their head and looks towards the anvil, and then it raises like an arm and points at it, and then lowers its arm, and there's another creak. And I think with that and the way that it moved, you see robotic pieces in and out of this bird person, but they don't seem to respond vocally.
That's cool. I'm nonverbal sometimes too, bro.
Same.
So, do you have any literature for sale? I'm trying to get into the smithing game. I'm looking for like a maybe smithing for dummies.
It opens up its mouth, and a speaker box seems to play with it from within. It doesn't like move its mouth like we do when we speak. It just opens up its mouth, and like a speaker plays from within, and it says, "We sell only the highest quality handmade weapons. What can I help you with today?"
That's an existential hell. I'm sorry, friend. Carry any rare tech brand?
The bird opens its mouth again, and the speaker plays and says, "While rare tech is hard to come by, we do have a few pieces in stock. Is there something particular that you're looking for today, or would you like to take a peek at our stock?"
I'd just like to take a peek at your stock, please.
And you look over at the window the bird person points to. You see Cookie peering at an object, and when you approach, it is this ring.
Just for context, Cookie is not peering at the object anymore.
Okay.
Cookie's having a hard look at this bird person and would like to ask a second question. What here is not what it appears to be?
What here is not what it appears to be. As you're peering at this bird person,
something's wrong with this bird person.
Get the way that it moves and the way that it's like its focus is on Carl, even as you come back over and you're like peering around and like getting an eye on this thing. You get a sense of like it's a robot. It's a well-crafted robot, minus it could use a little bit of like WD-40 or whatever, but it is
giving me the heebie-jeebies.
It is not. It doesn't seem sentient. It doesn't seem sentient like BBW. Right? You get a sense that it is a robot designed for this purpose, for being a merchant.
It's an automaton, not a sentient bot.
Yeah, like that. Yes, it is an automaton.
Interesting. Okay, cool.
It notices Carl, you peering in the window.
Carl, can you fit this ring on your tentacle?
I assume so. It looks about tentacle sized. Do you guys have 7 more of these? I don't want to not match.
The robot wanders over and looks at the ring and says, "That is a flame discharge. You equip it to a weapon to cause large bouts of flame to cascade from forth of the weapon in between charges."
Sounds
might be nervous.
Almost more dangerous than useful.
Might be more nervous about putting it on your body.
8 flamethrowers at once would be pretty tactically useful, though.
What'd you say?
This is the only during my time.
That was a pretty good joke for an automaton.
Some children's parties. I did, in fact, partake in some pyrotechnics. It seems very entertaining.
Could be good for entertaining purposes.
Is this the only piece of rare tech that you have?
The robot taps a finger on the glass, and 2 of those boxes open up. There are large rifles in each of these crates, and they are modded out. One of them has like binocular scope. It's like 2 eyesights in the scope. It has like several boxes going up and down the barrel. You get an idea that these 2 weapons are covered in rare tech. These boxes open up, and now you see price tags in the top of each of these boxes. The weapons themselves are in the high hundreds of credits. The more expensive of which is probably about 1,200 credits. The other is about 900 credits. The mod in the box is 120 credits.
That's a little bit out of my budget.
Yeah, I'll keep this marked on my map. Let me know if you guys have a clearance sale. You have my email, right? As I'm saying this as I'm walking away.
I have my last question. You know what? We're just gonna do it. All right. Yeah, Cookie's gonna ask her last question. Who's really in control here?
Carl, you said like, well, I'm gonna, I'll keep this marked on my map. I'll come back. Let me know if you have any sales. The robot it like powers down. Its arms drop. Its like torso drops a little bit. And there's a few moments you hear a little bit of rustling around inside of the building, that like wooden building, and a person comes out. They are blue skinned. They have 3 arms and 2 squat legs. They come out and they have a kind of like a computer screen belted onto them. Comes out a little bit, and 2 of their arms are typing on that, or like rested upon the keyboard, no longer typing. The other arm is on the door handle and opening up for themselves. And they say, hold, adventurers. You seem... They look around and they drop their voice. Interested in rare tech? More so than your average adventurer. Might I interest you in some of my more discreet wares?
It seems you have a private room to show us.
I may very well have a private room if you are interested. He opens up the door to his... the little hut, and he motions with his 3 hands through the door.
Combat officer, technical specialist.
I guess I will take point on this.
You all enter into this hut, and it is pretty dark and dim in here. You see a station in the corner that you can imagine where he was running this robot from, and there is a steel door on the floor that he opens and enters down into it's pretty dark, this basement. As he enters into the dark. You follow?
Yeah.
All right.
Do we not have or like, I mean, this would be relevant for future stuff. Do we not have like lights at all on our body gear?
I'd say
flashlights / lamps. Is that something that we have on us, or is that something?
I'd say that you probably have flashlights. I think a flashlight is a basic thing to just have equipped. If you have some sort of wrist readout sensor, it probably has a basic light. Not super bright, but enough. What was your question, Gabe?
I was wondering how would you think Dungeon World would handle like readied action? Because this feels like as we're coming down the stairs into the dark, if someone is on edge and like on the lookout for nefarious happenstance, they would be prepared to do something.
Yeah, I mean, I think it can kind of hold true that you are prepared to either maybe hack and slash or volley or defy danger. Maybe pick a thing that you are prepared to do if this thing occurs, and that is like what you'll be prepared for. I'll say that if you do that event, like if you're prepared for an attack and you're ready to defy danger and that comes through, I'll give you +1 for being prepared for it. But if something else happens, then not that.
In that case, I am actively putting out my pheromones.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because like if someone eats the egg and I'm putting out the pheromones, that's like temporary obedience.
Yeah.
So I am putting those out.
You're preparing for that.
The basement is spooky.
Yeah. You guys shine your lights, and Cookie begins producing some pheromones down to the basement. And this basement is pretty small. It's just like a small stone room, and there is another set of shelves along the wall. You can kind of see them outlined in the casting shadows from your things. The light flips on as you all enter into this basement, and the door closes behind you. Not in a like slam, haha, laughing. It just does as part of the light turning on. The door closes. The walls, there are shelves. Everything in here is brilliantly shining. The tech on them, the readout, some of this tech you've not seen things quite this high tech. And there are, I think the shelf that you folks are drawn to the most, because it seems affordable. Everything in here is, ranging from thousands to even higher than that.
Big clearance shelf.
Yeah, exactly. There's like one shelf in the corner that has a lot of these, like those smaller ring size boxes with weapon mods in them. They look smaller and less impactful, but they each run at, we'll say the whole shelf is 50 credits. And you can give me like a little, what Carl you think would be looking for first to modify if he was interested in this situation.
Honestly, I think Carl is very much just now learning what like weapon modification is as a concept. So I think part of the reason he visited here despite not having money was kind of to see what kind of things existed in the modification field.
Okay, give me.
He's not familiar with the concept of a magic weapon. He's just had the same stick his whole life.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
This can shoot fire? I don't understand what you're telling me.
So yeah, I mean, I think there's a large list of things that these do. Some increase the output power, some like decrease the amount of sound. There is like a silencer, and I think that a lot of this stuff, rare tech is, some of it is just like rare tech because it's illegal tech, right? Some of it is rare tech because it's, you've never ever heard or seen or didn't know that tech could do something like this. There's probably like in little invisibility situations that craft, invisibility for the user. There is, so in the more expensive stuff, we can talk about like maybe you can create a thing where you can shoot your gun and the bullet will come from a little portal to the left that you've marked or something like that. I think that what I'm going to use rare tech as is like sort of Cookie has that test kitchen role where Cookie gets to kind of describe what this ingredient will do. And I think that rare tech can be the same kind of situation. You can kind of describe and we'll deal out prices is necessary. Rare tech is going to be expensive. You probably won't find it cheaper than say this 50 credit, but it'll all do something. And once you have that blacksmith roll, if you just like fashion that to your staff using maybe BBW's help, doesn't really matter what it did before, we can figure out how that transfers into you having a stick. If that's, it did more damage, maybe now your stick produces a little bit of plasma outside of the tip right before you hit to do that extra damage or whatever that is. But I think you get that exposure to a lot of this in this room, and he points out some like larger weapons and some cool melee weapons. You get the idea that if done right, almost anything can be applied to anything. You just require the right skills.
Okay.
And this might be the spark for that skill to, that blacksmith skill to appear in Carl later as you begin to work down this path. The blacksmith is interested in your interests. He shows you around the room and he teaches you guys a lot about these weapons. There is, let's say, a really neat laser. It is like a splitting laser that sticks out to BBW. It does exactly that. If you have a laser, it splits the laser into two. So for the aspect of like your spell thing, it would just be two lasers rather than one laser if you did the laser one. Things like that you can get mods for your body as well. Cookie, you find it is called solar iron, and it is like a cast iron pan, the best in iron for cooking, and it's a solar iron pan. And I think that the reason this is down here is because it's a pan, but I made it out of solar iron, and that's just a rare iron. And this solar iron pan runs 50 credits as well, but it is just like, you as a cook know that this is top of the line. Like that, if you had the whole cookware set of solar iron, you would be a pleased chef. I just wanted to give everyone that was here a fun, cool thing to see.
That is cool. Is there a mechanical benefit to having a solar iron pan?
I think that the mechanical benefit would probably be like +1 to cook rolls.
Okie doke.
When using, this great ass pan. Is it fair to say that you returned to the hotel?
Do our communicators, is it just voice or do they have like a text function? Like could I tip tap on my wrist a message to someone else? Can I DM Carl?
No, you have to pull out a walkie-talkie and it only has 9 keys.
Yeah, I think that the quote-unquote the team comms you guys have can send, we'll say, like 150 character messages.
That works. I'm going to send Carl a message. I'm going to say, I can make him give us anything if you want.
I don't know if that will be necessary.
Burn a bridge. Burn a bridge.
We're surviving okay right now without murdering merchants or anything.
Okie doke. Equally good with that.
Keep the idea on the back burner. I like the proactive thinking.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna message back. It is an option. Yeah, I'm a bug.
One I will remember.
I'm still a bug.
No, I love it. I love it. Should I kill him? No, please don't. Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Not to. This is fine.
I'll keep that in mind. Is it fair to say you guys return to the hotel?
Yeah.
As it
Unless
is.
BBW has a thing that he wants to go look at.
Oh, it's true. We've looked at some stuff. Is there anything specifically that BBW is interested in the market?
In the market, no. I was here for the ride.
You're here for the ride. All right. Yeah, it's getting dusk, and you folks decide to return to the Peacock to check up on Slippy. He sent you a text like, just got up. What are you guys up to or whatever? And you return to the Peacock. It is more brilliant at dusk. The lights are overtaking the night sky and shining these streams of multicolored light across the surrounding buildings as you enter into the hotel. The nightlife here, as it was alive and active during the day, is significantly more now. This is a city that sleeps during the day, even though it's active. At night, it is shoulder to shoulder on the streets. You're seeing people in high-class duds and street urchins alike, you know, going in and out, and there might be pickpockets here and there, etc. as you folks get back to the Peacock. Slippy, you have woken up in the hotel room. Your team is on the way back from the market. What do you do?
Slippy says, "It's go time," and he changes into his suit.
Lucy doesn't have a change of clothes. She still kind of looks ratty.
Slippy goes,
Coming on the stealth mission.
Slippy goes, "You stay here."
Oh, okay. It looks really pretty out there. Can we go explore?
Now listen, kid.
Okay.
I have a special mission for you.
Yeah, I love special missions, and she gets real serious.
You need to secure the perimeter. Do you know what I mean when I say that?
No. You want me to go around the outside of the hotel?
We have a very large hotel room, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Anywhere in this hotel room, there could be cameras or microphones. And I didn't really check, to be honest with you.
You want me to dig through the room to find cameras and microphones?
I want you to take a peek. I want you to tell me if there are cameras or microphones.
Okay.
You need to keep a mental note or a physical note, I don't care, of any places that you think, hey, there might be a camera or a microphone here. And then you tell me once I get back.
Can do. I won't let you down.
I'll be back in 5 or whatever.
Okay. And she gets to looking. Where do you go?
Slippy goes downstairs to the front desk.
Okay.
And who again is the client?
The client,
what's his name?
Mr. Blood. I don't remember his first name, but Mr. Blood.
So as Slippy very coolly, very stylishly heads down the elevator, probably because he's not going to take the stairs. We're at the top. He gets on his little comms and he says,
"Hey gang, it's the S-Man."
Who?
"It's me, Slippy. Hello. Anybody
Slippy.
there?"
No.
I think you have a wrong number.
You mean to S-Man Roger.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go talk to the front desk, try and get some information about our situation up here at the top, try and figure out who's in that middle room. I'm gonna make a scene probably, and I want you guys to play along once you arrive back at the hotel. Either, clean up after me or just help me out with the plan. Whichever one is necessary, we'll find out. You guys are good at improv, right?
I've been basically just making it up since I, got out of Octopus High School.
Isn't that life,
Octopus High School.
all right.
That's what we call it.
We were the seahorses.
That's like normal high school with extra stuff.
Any questions?
So very many.
S-Man, over and out.
S-Man, over and out.
So Slippy heads down to the lobby.
Yeah. Front desk, huge marble front desk trimmed in oak and dark wood. Every worker of this is in a perfectly fitted black tuxedo. And the two people behind the counter, one is a thin, wiry, elderly human woman. The other is a young and rather bulky, like oxen man. The elderly lady addresses you as you approach, and she says, "How may I help you, sir?"
That's not the one I wanted to talk to, but we'll go with this one.
We can do the other one.
Slippy slams his hand down.
sir?
Slippy slams his hand down on the table, and he says, "I'm having a problem with my room."
How may I help? What is the problem?
Slippy says, now, you may be well aware that Mr. Blood is arriving in 6 days.
And he checks his computer and says, oh, certainly. 6 days. We will have a crew out on the roof to welcome him.
Now, I am aware that Mr. Blood had the arrangements for our hotel, and I'm also aware that he covered the incidentals.
Paid for up front.
We have a problem with the room arrangement. Why is there a room in between our rooms and Mr. Blood's room? This has to be a mistake.
He checks over the order and he says, just the information I have here is that Mr. Blood has purchased the 6 rooms on the top floor. 4 of them were for you folks and 1 of them is for him. And it says here, guest.
And it just says
Mr.
guest.
Blood himself specified this room order.
And Slippy turns off his cam and or his team mic, and then he says, "Yeah, Mr. Blood paid for this himself."
I looks at the thing and he calls over the woman and asks her a few hushed questions and says, "It seems as if we spoke to a secretary a week ago, having this order ironed out. Is there a problem with the rooms?"
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to enter that room, and I do need to inspect it for security purposes.
I'll
be honest with you. I didn't actually try, but does my key work for that room?
Certainly not. I'll have to see some identification if we want to get this on the road.
I probably have a space ID.
Yeah, you got a Delta ID.
And I have a delivery form which says protect to this guy.
It does. You do have a delivery form. And he says, yeah, we can have someone come up there with you and let you into both Mr. Blood's and the guest's room.
Thick.
And then he presses a button on the counter and a tall, pitch black individual approaches. They have very human features, yellow eyes, and also in this like black tux, white shirt kind of situation. They look at the oxen man and he says, show this gentleman, this guest,
Mr. Slippy.
Show Mr. Slippy up to the extra rooms for Mr. Blood and his guest. And the being nods and begins walking down the hallway and turns around and kind of motions towards the elevator for you.
Good.
And you folks at this point know that the only way up to your room is the only way up to your floor is the elevator in the lobby, the middle elevator in the lobby specifically. Like none of the other elevators go up that high, and there is not a staircase. Fire hazard, sure, but also it's safer.
They've got space fire extinguishers here.
Yeah, we're in space.
It's all right. I'm pretty sure my terminal velocity isn't enough to kill me.
The ground wouldn't surprise me, at least.
True, you know it's coming.
I get to act first.
I do a flip. No.
I scream and do a flip.
And you are shown up by this person to the top floor. They are silent the whole way. And in fact, like everything about them is silent. They don't cause noise. And at the top of the elevator,
Slippy matches that energy.
As I walk past them, I want to kind of like, in a seemingly friendly way, like pat on the shoulder to see if they're physical.
Yeah, I'll say that you folks enter the
I don't hear you. Are you real?
I'll say that you folks enter the front door of the Peacock as Slippy is getting in this elevator. Like you see him across you hold the door open. Yeah. So when
are you going up?
Some point, yeah.
You're going up to the same floor. Well, you're there.
Guys, are you going up? I turn to the guy and I go, "These are my boys." Guys, are you going up?
Yes, we are, Mr. S.
Absolutely.
You pat him on the shoulder in the elevator, and it is corporeal. Like you touch shape underneath the
shoulder
tuxedo. But the elevator raises to the floor, and all of you get out on the top floor, and the being goes over to first the guest room. It is the middle one across the hall from Mr. Blood's, and opens the door This suite is a lot more fine than your 4 rooms. Your 4 rooms are all the exact same, and they're beautiful apartments. They're like, you've got several like couches and a huge TV and whatever, like just it's huge and opulent to the 10. This one seems to be what more you would call like the honeymoon suite. It is kind of the same. Everything's just a bit more plushy and spread out. The bathroom is all bathtub and such, and you begin peeking around. Do you want to do anything specifically in here, Slippy?
First I say, this is the type of place Carissa always wanted me to take her to. Anyway, I've got a bad feeling about this. And Slippy uses his bad feeling move.
The 3 of you rode up in the elevator. Are you going on
went
this?
Straight to our rooms.
Did anyone join? That's very funny, but did anyone want to join?
I would offer. Slippy, do you need backup on this, or are you good?
I say, hey, let me get another 4 pairs of hands in here.
What? Yeah. So you do your.
I guess I have to go. There's not enough of us.
Or just you. So you did. I've got a bad feeling roll.
Yes. So I've got a 7. So I get to ask.
I've got a 7 feeling roll.
Is there a trap here? And if so, what activates it?
You spend some time peeking around, and you come up empty-handed. There is no traps here. As far as, like, you know, nothing that's out of the ordinary that shouldn't do what it does. You don't find cameras or anything like that either.
Or microphones.
Or microphones.
All right. Well, what do you think, Officer Carl? What was the rank that we got?
Specialist.
Specialist Carl.
Special Master Carl.
Cookie is feeling an extreme lack of control of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to text the other 2, ask for privacy so that you can enact your specific security protocols. And she's going to go to Slippy's room to check on the kid.
Okay.
What's your guys' text tone for your comms? Mine goes ba-dong.
Here's mine.
Mine is in a frequency that only sea creatures can understand. So
it's like a dolphin screech.
It has like a weird distant bubbling, but I don't know if BBW or Cookie hears it.
I was going to do frequency no one can hear. Okay.
Stole.
Yeah.
Well, I'm an amphibian, so do I hear something?
The tone, so it's the default tone, which is like bleep da ba da ba da.
I might be able
It's
to
like
do it.
unnecessarily long. What was yours, BBW? No, wait, what did you say? Sorry.
I said I think I might be able to hear it, but
Okay, yeah. I think everyone hears something different from Kaarl's, which is interesting to me. Cookies is unnecessarily long.
Underwater-esque.
Yeah. Something vaguely underwater.
You might hear the ocean, you might hear the void.
Yeah, so
Slippy texts BBW to also check in on the kid because it might be her birthday, is what I text.
I gasped audibly and I run.
the being tries to show you over to Blood's room now, having peeked around this room. The 2 of you go to Slippy's room. You enter into the room. It's kind of a sight in here. The room is kind of torn apart. The drawers are all out. The worst of it really is that the couch has a big rip going up the middle. And she is sitting in the middle of it all and just like shrugging and shaking her head as she sees the 2 of you. And she says, Slippy told me to look for microphones and cameras, I was told, and I looked, but I don't find any.
Well, it seems like you did an excellent job.
She nods and looks around, pleased with herself.
Have we seen any maintenance people or service personnel? Janitors.
We're definitely going to cost Mr. Blood a lot of money here on incidentals.
Definitely.
That's why I checked.
Incidentals.
Mr. Blood is here for incidentals, right? Why, yes. Good.
That's a load off.
You have in the hotel, in fact, I'll say while we are uncomfortable with the description of this NPC, and they're like weird spatialness, you've seen them in and out of the hotel. There is many of them. They all look the exact same, this like midnight pitch black skin, these yellow eyes, and they wear the tuxedos. They're all 5'10", and they're all silent. They do maintenance, they do those duties, and they do like bell hopping, things like that. It's like
not small talk.
Could you show me perhaps to the nearest like toolbox perhaps, or maintenance closet where you keep your tools? I'd like to get a stud finder.
That one right here.
I want to go over the walls between the two rooms, but just to be sure that there's nothing else going on.
A space stud finder.
That's
yes.
Carl's next thought is like, if the room itself looks fine, then what about the access to the rooms, the doors and the walls and the window?
The being looks
windows
at you, and you like get a thought in your head that you will have this stud finder outside of your door soon. Like it's like an original thought. You're just like, oh, I'll have a stud finder outside of my door pretty shortly.
I really want to. You know what? I'm gonna find a stud finder.
Exactly. It's sort of like that. Like that you'll have this soon, and it like nods at you and then opens the door to Mr. Blood's suite. That was like right before I guess you opened the door.
Slippy says out loud, I really wish I could find some buffalo cricket wings.
And it looks at you and points into Mr. Blood's room.
Slippy goes, okay, there might be some in there, huh? I'll go take a look.
I need you to know that I'm trusting you right now.
BBW Cookie, do you do anything special with the girl, or are we just like checking on them while we do this search?
Oh no, I've got a plan.
Okay.
BBW, do you do anything before I do my plan?
No.
Okay.
I don't think.
I say, you've done such a good job.
Mm-hmm.
You really have.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm a good adventurer.
I would like to ask for your help, actually.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
My duty, if you don't know, I am the cook of the crew. Yes. And
you make bread.
I do sometimes make bread. Slippy and Carl, you know them, right?
Octopus and Frog.
Octopus and Frog, yes. They're on a special mission right now. They're undercover doing a mission for us. And I would like to make them, and really the whole crew, but mostly them, a meal. And I'd like your help. Would you help me make a meal for our crew?
I would love to. And she gets up and, I don't know, takes like a pillowcase that she had torn off a pillow and puts it on like an apron.
Hell yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have to go to another room because you cannot use that kitchen.
No, we're gonna have to go to. I'm gonna say Cookie brought her like chest of ingredients, and that's in her room. So we're gonna use the kitchen in Cookie's room, but we can do something else first.
No, that makes sense. You guys head to Cookie's room to do this cook. Do you want to join along, BBW?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Yeah, it's
adventure.
that toaster.
Carl and Slippy, you are in Mr. Blood's room. This is the hands down the best room you've probably ever seen. It is the presidential suite of the Peacock. Easily double the size of your room. It is like almost like a full house. It has 2 floors, several rooms, full kitchen, full living room. It has like a little small exercise studio, like an indoor pool. It's like a huge situation.
Hey, Slippy, do you think Carissa would be impressed by this?
This one actually I think would be a bit too much for her. She might complain about this one.
Yeah. It seems like a lot.
Do you want to... I've got a bad feeling this room as well?
Yeah, I've got a move for it, so I'm going to do the move
I've got a move feeling.
That's another 7.
Another 7.
With, same thing. Is there a trap hidden here if what activates it?
Again, I think you spend the time and there is no trap here. It is a beautifully, decorated room.
Looks good.
Yeah.
And I turn to the bellhop and I say, "Do you think that stud finder thought has come to fruition yet?"
It shrugs. And
well, let's go check, I guess.
You guys,
Carl.
as you're talking about that, you hear
you investigate the room. I'll just go wait by the door until a stud finder shows up.
Carl, you as you say that, you turn around and you hear a ding from out in the hallway, and you peek out into the hallway, and there is another one of these, I'm gonna call them midnight bellhops. And the midnight bellhop is coming out of the elevator carrying a pillow with a stud finder on it.
And
what else did you ask for?
Just that, huh?
Oh, yeah. Just that.
Damn.
Cookie, you're cooking in your room. She has attempted an aid roll and it failed, so she's not being much help. But she's here to learn.
That's fine. I'm definitely gonna teach her stuff. Let me quick have a look at what I've got in my sack here. So we're gonna go peppermint leaf, moon lily, sweet berry on this one.
Okay.
So we're making little tarts, I think.
I like that.
I think we're gonna do little sweet berry tarts with like a peppermint leaf in the center, but like, you know, when you have a bite of that, the peppermint leaf is not small. It like takes up a good chunk of the tart, so you get a bite of peppermint leaf with each bite of tart.
Perfect.
Yeah, the two of us, BBW, are you helping out? You toast and tart crust?
You are a toaster now, so that's perfect.
I do be a toaster. Wonderful.
Yeah.
I can toast beyond belief.
Can BBW give me give an aid?
Yes.
Roll?
Yeah.
Sure.
Only one can count, but because hers failed, his might be helpful. What is your roll as well for cook, Gabe?
We're gonna find out.
My aid roll was an 8.
An 8. Okay. I'll figure out how you expose yourself to danger or retribution at some point, but
this cake will get revenge.
My cook roll is a 13.
Damn.
Yeah, I rolled an 11 and I've got a +2. So
what are the states of this tart?
On a 10+, you get all chosen effects. Okay. Got it. Okay, so I picked 2 effects. I'm going to go with familiar and refreshing. So familiar is have an interesting and useful conversation with somebody you share your meal with. And refreshing is everyone who eats this meal gets a +1 on their next roll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm doing the bard thing. So everyone gets a tart. So I'm making 5 tarts. And BBW toasts that crust real good, and I show Lucy how to like peel the moonberries and like do things with it, like prep the ingredients, and then I walk her through the process of like making this tart. I think we pull like a gelatin pack out of one of the ration things. Yeah, and we use that to like make that tart filling. With the sweet berries, and so we make tarts for the crew.
Great.
So whenever the crew gets back together, we'll share a meal.
Yeah,
it'll be tarts.
That's perfect. As you're finishing up your tarts, Carl, you have the stud finder. What do you do with this tool?
So Carl's goal with the stud finder is to go around the room and try to assess if someone were to try to kill the guy in this room, the guy that we're trying to protect, what the most vulnerable areas are and what areas we kind of need to worry about more.
Okay.
Like, mostly, like, the stud finder thing is, like, there's no secret passages anywhere. There's no, like, compromised wall that'll be easy to break through from the guest bedroom. Like, everything seems pretty straightforward and secure in general.
Yeah. You're welcome to do discern realities if you want to do these questions, or if we just want it to be like that, you can give me while we'll be using it as
intelligence.
Yeah, I think so. I think that is fine. Yep. it is the catch-all. So if you know, I feel like discern realities could work and it is fine, but if we want to take it this approach that you're taking, I think defy danger with that intelligence might be the right way.
4. Yeah, I have enough experience to level 3.
I mean, you spend a lot of time doing this. At some point you get just kind of tired. You don't really find much with the stud finder. The most that you get is like informationally wise, none of these walls are particularly weak, but if they're, you know, if someone's going to break down a wall coming in from either, we'll say that maybe Slippy's on one side of Mr. Blood's apartment and your Carl is on the other side, your little like room. So like it would be easier to, if breaking down one wall, to come in from one of those apartments. Either like those would be the thinnest walls, but you know, with the stud finder, you get a sense that that's not great. I think you spend a lot of time doing that though, and you don't get to the full search. By the time you're pretty exhausted. You can smell tarts having just been finished wafting down the halls. The team retires to share a meal together at the end of their first day here on Opulence. Session end stuff. First question is, did we overcome a notable monster or enemy as a team?
I don't think so.
We overcame
a 5-year-old is not a notable enemy.
The beast that was consuming our rations.
Yeah, the beast. Did you discover something new and important about the world?
Kids make good soldiers.
They make good finders of equipment.
We discovered an entire casino planet.
No, but good gophers.
I don't know that you discovered the planet. You got here, but it was already discovered.
It's new to us.
We discovered it.
Without a doubt,
said Christopher Columbus.
Carl discovered how rare tech works.
I mean, we did discover the back room of this dude's shop.
Isn't learning something significant like one of the things?
Yeah, something new or important about the world. Yeah. Did you loot a memorable I'd say we can mark experience about that. We're learning about the world. Did anyone get a memorable treasure? Not your grappling hook, Cookie. No.
Rented suit.
A rented suit.
Not memorable.
Lucy.
Yeah,
we upgraded the ship. Is that?
Yes, we have a child. Notable treasure.
I think overall one experience for these end of session questions. Are there any?
Gonna add a child to my inventory.
Any bonds that anyone is able to shore up?
Maybe next session.
Yeah, I think that Gabe will.
I was trying to try for that for the following Cookie around. Didn't really work out.
What is that bond?
The bond is Cookie's proof that 3 things can be achieved without machines. I must watch those achievements with my own. I must match those with my own. Sorry.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So you just got to do something notable and say that like, I lived up to what I think of Cookie. Yeah, you definitely did try. I think that there might be some pretty good moments in a mission such as this to get that checked off. And I think Gabe is going to have moments to check off a couple of his for next session.
What? Can I evolve a bond?
Talk to me about that.
I feel that it's changed. So I've had this one since like the first session, which was find out Slippy's motive. And I think like what that's turning into with this mission, didn't have a lot of opportunities for it today, but like Carl's like thought process is like, okay, I need to know like if I can trust Slippy. So for this mission, I'm just going to completely unquestioningly trust Slippy and believe that I'm going to get out of this alive. And if that works, then I know that, you know, he's not necessarily looking to throw me under the bus.
I mean,
kind of that's.
Yeah, I think. Okay, yeah. I think that Carl has developed a plan to find out about Slippy's motive. So yes, now it is find out about Slippy's. I mean, it's less about find out about Slippy's motive and more see if it's finding out what if I can trust him. And I will do that by fully trusting him without a doubt on this mission. And that would mean by the end of the mission, you can at least resolve the bond again because you'll have a solution to it.
I just wrote trust Slippy until he fucks up.
All right.
I've been pretty good so far. I've only failed on things that it didn't matter if I failed.
Something tells me that his relationship with Carissa probably wasn't his fault. I don't know.
You're the first person who's thought that.
Did you get any bonds, Slippy?
Probably.
Mr. Slippy?
No.
Okay.
I get the feeling that you hear a lot from Carissa's friends, though.
So, remind me again about the way the XP scales. So, like, the first level is what, 7?
It's your level plus 7, always. So, at first level...
so the first one was 8.
8. Level 2, 9.
9, okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm 2 away from level 3. That's pretty cool.
I am ready for level 3, but don't you need, like, a week?
Yeah, we
Station time?
Yeah, station time. Back
Oblivion rules.
home at the station, which means you could possibly get another level by the time you return to the station.
Hell yeah, I might be smithing by the time we're back.
Yo.
That wouldn't be that bad.
Earn enough money for me to actually do something with it.
Mm-hmm. And you guys are getting paid here, so you could then go shopping real quick.